Speaking of quarterbacks, so Kyler Murray got a 5-year deal worth $230.5 million, makes him the second highest average paid player in NFL history. $46.1 million. Do you think that .1 was to get him ahead of Deshaun Watson? So Watson now the third. Now the guarantee in that is only $160 million. That is second to Watson's $230 million guaranteed. I want to take a look at it before we take a look at this. This is also kind of interesting. So, and we've talked about this. Kyler Murray, the 8-game suspension for Watson would cost him $460,000, leaving him just $45 and .54 earned in 2022. And again, that would be relative. If his contract wasn't extended by the Browns and guaranteed, it would have been $15.5 million. Now, the Browns want the extra year. That's why they extended it. They knew the guarantee was going to cost him. Andrew Berry, for salary cap purposes, has always gone low in the first year. So let's clear all that up. But it's very interesting. Murray's $46.1 million. I'm guessing that was so the agent could claim victory there.
I mean, you got to claim some kind of victory. And honestly, that's one heck of a victory for him. I've been real critical of Kyler Murray's agent, but he was able to get some kind of deal done. Now, the fact that 160 is like second and then Deshaun Watson's up there at 230 guaranteed is a wild number. I didn't know the chasm was that deep. I don't know what it was before, but there's a big gap in guaranteed money that I think only Lamar Jackson could probably make up, or at least has the resume to make up in an open market. But yeah, Kyler's deal is an interesting one. It's not as much guaranteed money, but it is more money. But I think we all know that number on the top there is not the real number unless it's all guaranteed. It's really the 160 that's guaranteed. Everything else can be moved around. And even with Deshaun Watson's deal, don't expect that deal is going to be the cap. Well, don't expect that they're not going to rearrange that contract if they continue with Watson in like 2-3 years to where they figure out a way to kick some more cap down the line. I mean, the Steelers, everybody talks about the Browns doing this. The Steelers are really who everybody got the playbook from, because if you know with Ben, what they did up until the end of Ben's career was just kick the can down the road, have him sign an extension or a signing bonus, have all of that money disappear from the cap, and just roll it down. And they did this literally from when Ben signed his first big contract all the way until Ben retired and the bill finally came due like his last year, and they just split it into 2 years. One's a void year, I think, this year, so they're still on the cap for it. And then that's it. They did this for 10 years with Big Ben. So I would expect a similar playbook coming from the Browns when it comes to these big contracts, and coming from other teams who's really followed the lead in that, of being like, hey, we'll give you the money. We're going to negotiate this deal. I like to say in the NFL, we talk about 5-year deals all the time. No such thing as a 5-year deal. Everything's a 2- and 3-year deal until it's not, right? Like everything's going to be renegotiated eventually.
Yeah, and the other thing that people don't realize, Deshaun Watson is still young. Even though he's played in the league a couple of years, he's actually younger than Baker Mayfield. I mean, keep that in mind. This is still a young guy who has done it at the NFL level.
Got younger at quarterback. Even if he gets suspended for a year, they would still be younger at quarterback than Baker Mayfield would have been entering this year, which is interesting.